You're watching a Prince George's County Public Schools NewsBreak.
These young people had so much to live for. Beautiful, talented, and loving, they had their entire lives before them. That is, until drunk drivers took their dreams and those of their families away forever. All these Prince George's students may be gone, but their families and friends are determined that they won't be forgotten. In fact, in their memory, friends and relatives are constantly crusading to reduce the scourge of drunk driving and underage drinking. Alyssa Wither's mother, Jan, for example, has become the president of Mothers Against Drunk Driving and never forgets the day her angel and inspiration was so tragically taken away.
My daughter, Alyssa, was 15 years old when she was in the car with the 17-year-old young man who had been drinking. There were 5 kids in the car, and on the way home he lost control of the car, and she was thrown out the side of the car when it was torn off into the woods. As a result of that, my good friend Donna Hathaway Beck contacted me and invited me to come and make a difference with Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Donna Hathaway Beck, Vice Chair of the Board of Education, is not only a drunk driving crash victim herself, but also lost to a drunk driver a young girl very close to her heart.
In 2005, my daughter's best friend for 19 years, Amanda Moore, was killed 4 days before Christmas by a drunk driver on Allentown Road. He was driving back to the liquor store to pick up a lottery ticket, and he drove through the light, and she was killed instantly. And our family, really, this was the first time we suffered a death in our family, even though we had been victimized through my crash.
Too many Prince George's students, like Alyssa and Amanda, have fallen victim to a society that, despite laws regulating its availability and its sale, is still awash in alcohol abuse. Drinking is a national pastime, and alcohol a tolerable drug. But assuming that young people will act maturely and drink moderately is a risk that no parent should ever take. For while adults often overindulge, it's among teens that binge drinking is epidemic.
1 in 5 teens binge drink. Those are real numbers. This is solid research-based information. 1 in 5 children, teens, binge drink. We make a serious mistake to believe that I have good kids, and because I have good kids, I'm going to trust that they'll make the right decision. Our children are Our teens are still children, and we need to have the power to be in the middle of their activities, making sure that we're influencing what they're doing and how they're doing it.
So how does one convince teens who see parents and peers drinking that drinking is a very risky business?
To reduce the number of what is the nation's most frequently committed violent crime, Mothers Against Drunk Driving has begun a program that starts in the home. Called Power of Parents, It's Your Influence. Its strategy is to have frequent conversations with your teen about the dangers of alcohol. Without using undue scare tactics and emphasizing mutual respect and trust, Power of Parents is based on honest communication. Donna Hathaway Beck, who reaches out to parents about the program, did so after discovering that outsiders talking to students at school assemblies wasn't having the desired effects.
Through Mothers Against Drunk Driving and their research, we're more aware now that the road to informing teens is through their parents directly, so that the parents have a communication with their teen and express their family values and their family beliefs. It hits home for students much more if it's coming from their parent rather than some anonymous person who comes into the school, speaks to them for 40 minutes, and then leaves. So the impression for kids, the route is through the parents.
With a Power of Parents handbook as a conversation starter, families will find they can empower their children to avoid underage drinking and its consequences. Some suggestions in the book include getting children to promise not to drink alcohol before age 21, not to socialize in places where teens are drinking, and not to ride in a car with an underage driver who has had any amount of alcohol.
It's very difficult to just sit there talking at the table, oh, let's all talk about underage drinking. But the booklet, I see it as a Reader's Digest condensed form, very easy to read, that serves as conversation starters. Let me tell you how old I was the first time I was approached with illegal alcohol. Let me tell you, I had a friend in high school who was injured by a drunk driver.
So have those conversations with your teen about alcohol's dangers and, yes, its illegality. Tell them how alcohol affects the brain. Let them know the family rules about teen drinking and the consequences for breaking them. And talk with your children about what it is that motivates teens to drink, and then come up with ways to not give in to drinking and peer pressure.
In short, even though teens won't always admit it, parent opinions do matter. And parental guidance, if heeded, could save more of our Prince George's students from leaving this world too early and depriving us all of their comfort and their joy.
Every year we're dealing with the same crisis. And so bringing parents into the mix seems to be one piece we haven't tried before.
For more information on Power of Parents and to get involved yourself, go to madd.org. That's MADD.org. You and your children may discover that it's a site that saves a life. For Channels 96 and 38, this is Dave Zarin reporting.